Previously on
Allan
Ballz.
Lamb is standing by on Skype. Hopefully you managed to hook him up. Al, you there?
Yep, can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear. I'm not sure if you want to turn that camera of yours on, because I'm sure a lot of people would like to see you as well, if you can.
Unfortunately, I've put on the other. I'm on the.
Other Skype.
I'm on the iPad. But then this one doesn't have a camera.
No problem. We can hear you loud and clear. We're going to have a chat to you in just a moment. And it's a cricket guy in a suit. Harrow is down in PE at the moment with the big ODI happening there against Pakistan, so not with us today. It's proudly brought to you by Khalix. Christmas is a time for giving. If you're not sure what to buy for dad, your husband or son, you'll be spoiled for choice at Khalix. Unwrap real value with 2 polo cotton golfers for only 995 Rand. There are hosts of stocking fillers like cufflinks, bow ties, and leather accessories. So find the perfect gift at Khalix and make the thought count in more ways than one. Visit Khalix Sandown, Oriental Plaza, and Cedar Square. Khalix, for the businessman who knows what he wants. Wow, just saying it, we went into our chat with you, Al. All I'm reading about is, as I said on Twitter today, it's peace and calm down and truce. And I'm going, can they please hurry this damn test up, move it forward so that before they start giving each other flowers?
Hey, listen, the Aussies are loving it. Do you think they're going to take their foot off the accelerator?
Of course not. I mean, that clearly was their only option, really, by bringing Darren Lehman in. His nickname is Buff for many reasons. Brings the growl back to you. I mean, he was part of an Aussie side that had a lot of growl. And clearly that's been the thing, is like, you guys have got to get your growl back.
Well, yeah, it's. I mean, there's been a lot of said about some of the players saying that, this is the normal thing the Aussies will do with the old sledging and the banter and that. I'm afraid you've got to take it on the chin and move on. But I mean, the big thing is, they've got the media behind them now, and they've got the crowds behind them. So, England, I'm absolutely shocked. I don't know what they're doing in Alice Springs in 40 degrees, playing against the Chairman's 11 with their B team, and they've got a test match next week.
Yeah, and while guys like KP and that are apparently loving it over there, having a nice, putting their feet up and just enjoying some of the scenery. So they don't seem to be too phased about what happened, but clearly there must be a lot of behind the change room doors, hard talking going on. Well,
first of all, they're in for a test series. I always believe that, it's always happened. The history says that the guys winning the first test match in Brisbane normally win the series. And Aussies have definitely got the edge, and they got the big edge. And England are going to have to pull something out the bag for not, to come back and try to win the series. They're going to have everyone against them. Everyone's made a few comments. KP's opened up his mouth about a few things. He didn't like Brisbane, so they all climbed into him there. So you've got to be a bit careful. And I think the only way England going to come back and show the Aussies is by doing it on the park, because unfortunately with Trott going home, it's left it open warfare, because I'm sure the Aussie players are going to be walking down to who's next to go home, boys. You can't handle the heat in the kitchen. You can't handle it. You better get going then. And this is all going to happen. And unfortunately, I wish him a speedy recovery, Trot. But I mean, when you're playing, in the big game and you on the big stage, you got to perform.
Yeah. Now, come on, Al, just on what you said there now. I mean, do you as England try and get this truce? Because they're not going to get it anyway. So do you come out more aggressive? Because one thing this has done, I mean, everyone is sitting. That first ball of the next test is going to be, I think that the number of, if they didn't have a full house in Adelaide, they're going to, and they're going to be a lot more viewers watching that as well now. But you've been in the midst of the cauldron. Weren't you out in the middle? I mean, haven't you been there when you and Beefy have sort of given the odd Aussie salute, little handcuff wave at the crowd in Melbourne and stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, you're going to get no truce from the Australians.
Yeah.
They keep going. We've got to give back the own same medicine, and we've got to perform. It's no use giving the medicine if you're not performing. And Aussies have got it now. They're going to keep going, and they're going to keep firing it, until, England sort of beat them. And I think that's the way to do it. You're going to have to handle it, and you can't step back. I'm afraid the gloves are the gloves are off now, and the game's on.
Yeah. Just one little side thought as well. This has worked for the Aussies in this test. It might work for them in the Ashes as well. We've got them next. So clearly they're going to be coming to South Africa with a whole new mindset.
Totally. Listen, we say South Africa #1 side in the world, but, the Aussies, that's the way. I don't think they got a great side. They're batting. I mean, Warner's come out aggressive, and that's the way he's going to play. So Lehman has got the aggression back into the players and said, get out there and play. But on paper, they're not a fantastic side. They bowl well in Australian wickets due to the fact they bowled just back of the length. We bowled too short. It was ridiculous we bowled so short. And I think we've got to change the whole ploy. But, I mean, really, Flower and Cook's got to get the team playing and motivated again, because it's hurting the players.
Yeah, it is, and they've had to reshuffle their batting order, which isn't ideal either. I think Joe Root moving up to 3. That he's going to cop something when he comes out, as the youngsters already had issues with some Aussies in the previous Ashes, and they've also got I think a new boy making a debut in the next test by all accounts. He's also going to cop some as well. So the pressure's not going to get any easier. They're going to be under a lot of pressure there.
No, you're right. You're right, Darren. And I tell you, it's going to make it interesting because it's a dropping wicket they've got at Adelaide. Now, listen, I'm sure that if I was Australians, basically I would say to the groundsman, my God, make hard, quick wickets if you can. That's what we want. Because it seems like England just didn't handle it, the quick ball at all. And that's a real worry. But also, England haven't played on quick bouncy wickets for ages. I can't remember when they played. They went to Perth. Half of them didn't play. We then went to Sydney. I think some got rained off. Some of them had a game against some President's 11 or Select 11. Then we went to Tasmania, and Tasmania is as flat as the ball wickets. And then we go on a bouncy quick in Brisbane. So I don't think the preparation's been that great. And now going to Alice Springs, I mean, that's another thing. So this is going to be very interesting. I'm afraid Australia well on top here, and it's going to take a big performance from our players. And, Peterson's going to have to come to the front. I mean, they're going to give him enough, and the crowd are going to give him enough. So it's going to make it interesting. So I think everyone will be tuned in next Thursday.
Oh, yeah. That's the one thing. As I say, we were talking earlier this week, I think to Morne Morkel and a couple of guys, it's going, with the plethora of one-day games and T20 games and IPL, some cricket has become cricket's become a bit of wallpaper. We were talking to Simo as well, saying cricket's become a bit of wallpaper. You need these kind of build-ups to games to really anticipate. And I mean, what this has done, if anything, with all the negatives of Jonathan Trott, and as you say, we wish him a speedy recovery. What it has done is certainly focused attention on people who are really looking forward to that first ball.
Well, it does. You see, the big thing when England went there last year, there was no banter, there was nothing. The Aussies knew they were going to get beaten, and the public sort of said, oh, well, we haven't got a good side. There was a little bit of about that, so the old players, Australians said, well, we're not too sure about this side. But somehow Lehman has got the media behind him and all this slating. And Warney's been a great one for them because he has really put on Twitter, and he has created a massive sort of banter against the Palms to say, hey, you guys, can you come to the party? Are you good enough? Australia are going to win. And all this, everyone thinking, what is Warne on? But let me tell you, he's sort of the marketing tool for Lehman and the Australian team at the moment with the banter.
He's always done that, though. Warne and I think Steve Waugh as well, always managed to find something before a big series just to get out there, something controversial, whether it was a comment about a Graham Smith, just to tweak that bit of interest if it was needed in a series. Very, very good at psychologically getting under the other side's skin, first of all, but second of all, creating this war of words where it just piques the interest of everybody, if it wasn't there in the beginning.
Oh, definitely. And this is what's created now. I mean, everyone's been talking it. I mean, you must see, all the English people out there thinking, what do we do? I mean, listen, it goes back to Jardine. Do you think when Jardine came round the wicket? Let me tell you, this is brilliant. And England have now got to get up and front it and take it on to the Aussies. They got to give as much as they're getting from the Aussies and give it back to them. Listen, we've got the umpires who try to slow it down, but this has been in the game for ages. I mean, we've played it. We've had the banter. If you couldn't face sledging, then you might as well go home, because it's going to be in your face. It's been there all since I played. Modern day players, sledging's there. The umpires do step in now. The old days, it was a free for all. You arrived at the wicket and Marsh would say to you, got any family, mate? And then all of a sudden you see Dennis Lilly or Thompson kicking off on the side screen. So, all that stuff, it gets to you. But you know what? You've got to handle it. And I think this is going to be a big test for England.
So come on, Allan, tell us some of the best chirps you heard on the field. I know there's the top 10 chirps of all time.
He's probably made a few himself.
Yeah, some of your best chirps as well.
I know. I think Dennis Lilly was the best chirp, I think, I'd been playing and missing for I don't know how long, and he used to end up right next to you, and you sort of have that one finger go against his sort of brow, and then he used to flick the sweat at you, and he used to hit you in the face, and he used to be full of Bundy and Coke. He said, "Taste that one" or something, and then he get next to you and say, "Listen, do me a favor." And I say, "What's your problem?" He said, "Please hold the bat still and I'll aim at it." He's got all these, and I think they're great liners. But we've heard so many of the liners over the years. But I think that's it's part of the game. I'm afraid. I think it's great to have a bit of banter.
It's all good and well as well if you walk down the track and tell a guy like, well, maybe Jimmy Anderson's one thing, but tell a guy like Dale Steyn you're going to break his arm, you better not miss. Otherwise, you're in trouble.
Yeah, you're right. And, if you've got some ammunition, in the old days, the quick bowlers used to come in, hey, listen to the other quick bowler, don't bowl me any bounces, mate. You can have my wicket, just pitch it up.
Yeah.
But the game's moved on a little bit, I think. Everyone cops it now.
Al, are you the ideal guy to chat to with his next Ashes? Terry's going. Really was happy when Johnny said we're going to be having a chat to you. Always good to talk to you. Have a good festive season and Christmas. Enjoy the rest of the Ashes. Regards to all the family over there. And thanks for your time this afternoon.
Okay, go well, guys.
Thank you, Al.
Cheers, Al. Bye-bye. Allan Lamb, great value as always, talking to us on Skype today here on Ballz Visual Radio and Mix 93.8 FM. I wonder if was it Michael Clark who says we're going to break your who was
freaking
it?
arm, yeah.
You're going to break your freaking arm or something. I wonder if they'd be brave enough to say that to Dale Steyn.
Never.
Because if you do,
don't miss.
You better make sure you do it. Do not miss. Otherwise, the Lord help you.
Visual Radio. Weekdays from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Central African Time. Radio like you've never seen it before. Ballz.co.za